Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Pure Faith Podcast, a podcast where we discuss all things Bible. I am your co-host, Michelle. This is our host, Mitchell, and tonight we're going to switch it up a little bit, so we're glad you're tuning in to us. We ask that you like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit the notification icon to be notified when new episodes are released. So, something new this evening.
Kind of. I mean...
Something different. I shouldn't say new.
Different.
Something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm kind of cold.
Obviously, I'm like, are you going to cut firewood or what are we doing tonight?
This is my normal attire.
Not when we do Bible study, though.
No, but I'm cold.
Mm.
The shop that I work in, we don't keep it warm. And towards the end of the day, I was more or less standing at a machine, programming things, and I wasn't moving, and I got cold.
And then we walked in here, and I was like, boy, it's warm in here.
I'm still cold. Still cold.
Sorry to hear that. Hey, how was your Christmas light adventure?
It was good.
Was it?
It was. There was a lot of lights. The lights are awesome, but I was kind of disappointed in the light show.
Did they have like a parade?
No, they have music, and in the center of the Columbus Zoo is kind of like a pond area.
Yes.
And they have trees and they had all kind of stuff out there and had lights on them. Well, then they will play music, and the lights will
go with
to
music.
the music.
Okay.
But the songs were slow Christmas songs. That wasn't like the what's that orchestra?
The Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah, it wasn't like those kind of music where it's boom, boom,
like
boom,
the light
boom.
show at BMI is the
Yeah.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and it is a light show, and it is fast and high paced, and
Yeah.
it's go, go, go.
This was just very, very slow, very just normal music, just playing Christmas music, and lights are just flashing a little bit, and it's like, yeah. After like midway through the second song, because as it started, like everybody was like, oh yeah, and then halfway through the second song, you just see everybody just go, "Meow." So it's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Did you go early enough to see the animals first? And
Yes and no. We did go early enough. We got there like 3.
okay.
So we were able to go see some of the animals, but we didn't get there early enough to see all the animals.
Oh, okay.
So some of the exhibits were closed. They closed at 5, so we didn't get to see everything. But it was still.
Did the boys like it?
Good. Yeah, they had fun.
Okay. That's really all that matters. They like the swimming pool at the hotel?
They did.
Okay.
It was a nice pool.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except Sunday morning, there's too many people there. Saturday morning was awesome.
Oh, really?
It was like us and a few other people in the pool. And
please tell me you didn't bring your Speedo.
No, I didn't.
Thank goodness. No, he has one.
No, I have 2.
Yeah, I think he bought them.
Maybe 3.
For his mother-in-law's entertainment, because
That's a whole different story.
she did not think you'd wear one, right?
She told me no.
Oh, she told you no.
I said yes. Bye.
And he did, and we got a picture of it, and I was like, please don't ever send me a picture like that again.
It's a whole different story. I wasn't expecting this podcast to go that direction.
I was so sorry. Well, swimming pools, I mean, you just don't ever know what Mitchell's going to have on, so.
Well, Paige didn't pack it, so.
Wonder why.
I guess we did that.
Just remember, whenever you said that, I was like, and Paige, that is all yours, and you can have it. So funny.
Well, then the other fun thing is I had that stress test.
Oh, yes.
So they shaved different parts of my chest, and it's not fully grown in yet. So I look like Patch Adams with my shirt off.
So they had to do that for Don. Don had a stress test shortly before we went to Florida for a work thing that I had. And we didn't even think about it.
I didn't think about it either.
He didn't even think about it. So he went for the stress test, and he's like, we're going to Florida. Like, this was July. So you knew we were going to be outside in the water. And I was like, Yo, so what are you gonna do about that? Because he's a hairy man. What are you gonna do about that? No lie. He shaved his chest, and then it was just an itchy mess the entire time we were there. It was so terrible.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Why are we talking about
No.
this?
You're the one that brought it up.
Okay, sorry. No, we said that we were doing something different this
That's
evening.
really different.
I just wanted to know how your light show your lights went
Yes, our
for
trip
the
went
zoo.
good.
Good. Our Tigers lost, which Mitchell announced that on the podcast last when he released it. So, but they give it their all, and so we were state runner up for the football.
Losing builds character.
Losing does build character, yes. And I have to tell you that after it was said and done, our house is so much more peaceful. It's so nice. There's laughter, there's no arguing, there's good conversation. So we are officially done with football. So Don said he will only go to another game if there is a Waymeyer or Schultz playing. I said, okay, works for me.
No high camps.
Well, I said, well, Ethan's next in line. And he's like, yeah, there's too many divas in that grade. So I said, okay, well, maybe when they get a little bit older. And if Zeke plays, we probably be there. I imagine Eli will play. I don't know if Zeke's going to play.
I don't know if Zeke will play.
We'll wait and see. So what do you have in store for us tonight?
Talking?
About what? You don't have a cancer update, do you? Not really?
Not really. I mean, nothing's really happened. We got less than a week before my actual surgery. So by the time this is actually released, this will be released Tuesday evening or Tuesday night.
You'll be getting up early the next morning to go.
So yeah, this will get released, and then that next morning, so the morning of this release, which is Wednesday morning,
which is usually whenever I'm watching it or I see it come through, you will be at the hospital, probably already being operated on.
I don't know. I don't know what time they're actually taking me back. They're going to call me on the 12th and
give you
schedule all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So I don't know the details. I just have to be there like 6 or 6:30 in the morning or something.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Okay. Good deal.
But yeah, the plan for this episode, maybe the next few episodes, is we're just going to discuss kind of my mindset with all of it and why I have the mindset that I do. And then we may get into why bad things happen to good people. And we're just going to go from there.
Very relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know that you say that it's, for you, it's very mundane. Like you're very relaxed with all of it. It's very, you're at peace with whatever's going to happen. And, I get a message from Olivia this afternoon, just out of the blue. And she said that she's very anxious about what's going on with Mitchell. And I'm like, if Mitchell's at peace at it, then you should be at peace with it because God is in control. No matter how many times you tell a young person that God is in control, they cannot absorb that information.
That's a hard thing to comprehend.
Yeah, she has but yet she agrees with me every time I say it, she's like, yes, I know, and I know God's in control. It's God's plan. But then I'll get a message the next day, and she'll like completely forget what we talked about the day before. It's God's plan. It's not yours. So, whether it be a winding path or a straight path, I mean, it is what it is.
Yep.
So I feel like that's one of the things that people really do have a hard time understanding. And even if they do understand it, we have Noah who's moving next week and he's very concerned about his dogs, that he's moving into this place. And what if they get kicked out because of their dogs? And I'm like, if you weren't supposed to be at this place, it never would have came available and you wouldn't be moving there. It's God's plan. This didn't just happen out of the blue. I mean, this was a plan for you to be on base because that's what you you were wanting, that's what you were praying for, that's what you were needing, was to be on base, and God provided for you. They know you have 2 dogs. You know you have 2 dogs. God knows you have 2 dogs. If it wasn't meant to be, he wasn't going to put you in a situation that was going to make you panic to try and find some other place. And he just said the same thing. He's like, I know. He's like, he's like, there's just something. I'm like, that's the devil. I don't know what to tell you. So these are things that happened every day to people. Just not
Very
being
true.
able to rely on God's plan. So when I told her I'm not anxious about what's happening with Mitchell.
Neither am I.
You're not anxious about what's going to happen with Mitchell?
Not really.
Okay.
Overall, no.
The recovery is going to be
that.
Yeah, there's certain things like it's the cancer. You're probably like,
Yeah, I guess we can get into our topic of discussions, which I just have a few points that, like I told everybody else, I didn't start writing my notes till 20 minutes before I walked into the church. But in my defense, last night I still didn't know what I was going to talk about.
Right.
So the Lord showed me a few things today. I'm like, all right, I want to run with it. So one of the things is, we kind of mentioned it last week. Whenever I say, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, you got cancer. Yeah, I don't care. Well, I'm not saying I don't care about my family. I'm not saying I don't care about my wife and my kids. I'm not saying I don't care about my siblings, about my mom, about all my extended family. I'm just simply saying I don't care about the cancer because this cancer has no effect on my life. Because of, simply to say, because of my faith, because of God. So you were talking about Olivia, you tell her God's in control, God's in control. And you have to tell her every day, but it doesn't sink in.
Right.
Well, one thing that I did years ago was I completely and totally gave my life to the Lord. Like everything.
Right. And I think I remember that was quite a few years ago, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know about quite a few, but it was several.
The hat came
years.
off.
Yeah, I'm starting to get warmed up. It was, I don't know, several years ago. I don't know exactly when it was, at which point in my faith walk that I finally made that move. But when you do that, when you get to the point where you can fully give your life to Christ, then so many different things happen. So, for one, you can live in the state of knowing that no matter what happens, it's happening because it's God's will for you, for your life. And I even go a step further with that because that is part of my typical prayer.
Daily prayer. You've said that.
I may not say it every day, but like at least once a week, multiple times a week, I pray for God's will to be done in my life. So that means no matter what happens, and I literally pray, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, whatever happens, I trust that it is from the Lord because that's what I'm praying for. That's what I ask for. So then I know when I get something like cancer, then it's from the Lord.
And do you think that it's a test also that he is testing you because you have given everything to him, like you've given it all to Christ, to see if you're going to bend to that? Like,
Crack.
yeah.
Well, we could look at
Could
Job.
it be a test?
I mean, we could look at Job. Job was righteous.
Yes.
Job did nothing wrong. And yet God allowed the devil to come down and just completely wreck Job's life.
Yes.
I mean, killing off his children, all of his livestock. I mean, Job was a very wealthy man. All of his possessions gone. just leaving him and his wife and some friends that he could have better friends,
Right.
but that's a different story.
Right.
But Job, even through all that, Job never sinned. Job
He
remained
stayed
a
faithful.
righteous man. And that's biblical righteousness, not self-righteousness like the Pharisees that we talked about last week. And in the end, he was restored.
Yeah.
So this goes along the line that, yes, cancer is evil. Cancer is of the devil. But just because something evil or bad or hard comes into your life, the Lord will allow that in order for you to either grow
Mm-hmm.
or develop in some way, shape, or another.
Right.
Um, like Pastor said, it's in his last series that I think he did was sometimes the Lord will prune something out of your life or
Oh, yes.
give you hardships, and through that, it is to build the fruits of the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So that love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. Did I get them all? I don't know.
I didn't count.
But it's to help build those good fruits in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So to cut out the bad to help the good grow.
Right.
Well, it could go a different direction too. This may not be because of me at all.
Right.
He just may be using me for somebody else
Right. Yep.
or multiple people.
Right.
He may have let me have cancer so somebody who's watching this can watch this and get something out of it, and it can help you in your life in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
So it may not be about me at all, which it's not about me.
Right.
It's all about God. But
Right. Right.
so yeah, I'm not saying I'm a good person. I'm not saying I'm a bad person. I'm just
You're a faithful person.
I'm
You,
I like to think I'm faithful.
yeah.
So he just may be using me for that. And a reference for that would be John 9.
Okay.
So that is the story where Jesus and the disciples were, I don't remember the exact details, but they basically came across a man who's blind. And so the disciples asked,
Oh.
uh, Jesus, why is this man blind? Is it because of something he did or something his parents did? And Jesus is like, well, it has nothing to do with him or his parents. He was born blind so that the glory of God could be revealed through him. So maybe that's what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he just chose me to work this out for him in some way, shape, or form. Um, but I mean, if
And we've talked about this before because we used Missy as an example for this as well.
yes,
Missy was a good person. We feel like, and I mean, I think I say we, I mean, I feel like, her death to cancer was to help me grow in my faith, was to help dad grow in his faith.
yep,
Because at that point, I feel like both of us, dad and I, really took a turn. We started coming to church more. We started talking more about faith. And I can tell you, just from Missy's passing to now, how different my life has been. And I feel like that was a work from her and a work from God. Yes, it was terrible, the whole situation. It was the devil working all the way through, but like you said, good comes out of that kind of stuff. And who is
yep,
it for? So that's kind of the way when I talk to people, I tell them that's kind of how I got back into my walk of faith was, by everybody has a story, everybody has a testimony, everybody has, a turning point. That when you gave it up, you gave everything to God. When that turning point was. So, for me, I feel like that was my step back into finding my faith. Because you have to find it. It's not like
yeah,
it's just there and you can just pick it right back up again. But
yeah. And actually, you talk about that. Well, the Lord actually put me on that path before that. I think, before Missy's passing, so that by the time it was getting to the point where Missy was passing, which we've talked about this in the past, That's when I started doing, I don't know, my letter ministry, I guess,
Yeah.
where I was writing letters,
Yep.
general letters to the family, in order to help prepare the family for
It
what
was.
could potentially happen and what to expect and that
And
kind of
yeah, so
stuff.
Mitchell's overseas doing this, and he's sending him back via, I don't know, email. I,
Email.
I think it was email. Oh my gosh! And Dad would call me. Hey, can you print this off for me? I need the big lettering so I can read it. So I'm like, what font do you want? Like 37. Okay, yeah, let me get
37. It's like one letter per page.
he needed the big font so he could read it. But that's just it. At that point, just to hear anything from Mitchell was 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 good. I mean, it was, we were excited to see that. So when you sent letters back and then talking about, this journey that we were all on, not only were we excited that we were getting something back from Mitchell, but he also was guiding us to help us through this transition that we were all going to be going through. And you were so far away.
I wasn't that far away. I was in Texas at that time.
Were you? Not really.
Well, it started in Texas,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, so I agree. I agree to agree.
okay.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to agree to.
hmm
Okay, I might have to look at my notes because I don't know what else.
Oh, your second bullet point was?
Nope. I only got 3, but are you actually keep track of time?
Yeah, I am.
No. Oh wait, this didn't even update it anyways.
I
We'll
told
get that out.
myself I wasn't going to laugh because that's always the picture that shows up on this Facebook thing. And I was like, you're not doing it tonight. I did.
You
I
did.
did. That's probably going to be the picture.
Um. So yeah, that's about all my notes.
Shoot.
But yeah, I mean, the reason I approach this, um, this whole idea of cancer, the situation that I'm in. I mean, to be completely honest, there are certain things that I'm worried about, that I'm nervous about, that I'm concerned about. Um, but a lot of that's because I don't know what God's will actually is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I trust the Lord. Whatever happens, I trust that is exactly what He wants to happen.
Right.
So that's the mindset that I have going forward. But there's still some hesitation because you don't know what you're walking into.
Right.
Like, I know what my prayer is. I know what I pray for, and that
Right.
is for the cancer to be completely removed during the surgery, no issues, nothing's
Right.
left behind, and I get a clean bill of health whenever I walk out of that place.
Right. And, in saying your prayer with our prayer, like for me, when I pray for you, in the mornings while I'm drinking my coffee, because, that's what I do. My prayer is not only for you, but it's also for your doctors. It's for your
Yes.
nurses. It's for the people who God has put into your medical team. The people he put together to do this procedure for you, who found it for you. Like,
Yeah.
my prayers are for them, because without them, you wouldn't be able to have this procedure. So they need to have clear eyes. They need to have, steady hands. They need to have, the mindset they're supposed to have.
Yes.
So we don't only pray for Mitchell, we pray for the doctors. We pray for those who are going to be waiting in the waiting room. We pray for the people that's praying for you as well. I mean, everybody gets the answer that they're praying for.
Yeah. I do pray for that too.
Yes.
I ask the Lord to prepare them. I've asked from pretty much the time that I had the surgery scheduled. I asked that the Lord start preparing the doctors and the nurses and everybody involved.
Do you pray for the cafeteria people?
I haven't, but I should have been. So I guess I have nobody to blame but myself. Right. The food is horrible.
I haven't prayed for them yet either, but and that's the other thing. Are your boys gonna be able to come to the hospital to visit you? I mean, you gotta pray for the.
I doubt if we even let them come.
Well, I mean, it can be anywhere between 3 to 7 days that they don't see you. 3 to 10 days. I mean, I don't know. And that's for
But
your boys.
the thing is, I often leave for 3 to 7 days.
Yeah, that's true.
So every month, if I'm gone less than 3 days a month, that's this is
That's a miracle in itself.
short month here. Typically it's 3 to
Yeah, you're right.
7 days.
You're right. And it's over a weekend time, which is what we're doing now. I mean, it's going to be.
Yeah.
So
like I asked Paige the other day, like, is there anything you're going to need while I'm in the hospital? And like, no, I don't think so. Okay.
Yeah, and when she does, then she's got plenty of people that she can lean on for that stuff too.
Yep.
So between her family, our family, and the church,
you're going to be gone.
Well, I'll be gone for a couple of days. You're exactly right. Because Olivia will be getting married on Saturday. But, you know, Wednesday I plan to be at the hospital. Thursday I'm not planning to see you on Wednesday because I figure I'd leave Mom and Paige to that. So Thursday I was going to come back to visit, and then we're going to head to our wedding, and then we'll see what happens from there. But hopefully you'll be released by Sunday.
Hopefully it'll be released Thursday.
You better really start praying, because I don't think I'm going to let you walk out there on Thursday. But then again, when I show up, they might be like, you know what? We're tired of him. He's giving all kinds of grief to the nurses. I'm like, oh, he gets that honestly. He gets that from Grandpa Kunk.
I need a cane. Yeah. Chase the nurses down the hall with a cane.
Yeah. So, but no, we'll just, all you can do is whatever day it is, then be there to take you home so you can heal and get ready for Christmas and your birthday.
Joyful. 40's coming in hard.
Yes.
It's coming in like a lion.
It is going to come in like a lion.
It needs to go out like a lamb.
That's right. So.
How much time we got?
Well, we got about 2 minutes, so we can just wrap it up. I set my timer a little bit longer because I didn't know what you were talking about tonight.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't either.
So we can end this thing.
Okay. I will try to get a better train of thought. I really struggled with.
What?
I seen that. I watch this too when I.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Whoops.
But now I will try to work on a better train of thought. Like I said, last night I didn't know which direction to go with it.
Yeah.
I was praying about it, and it wasn't until this morning that I kind of got a better idea. But something I do want to mention is if you go to purefaithliving.com, I actually wrote like a 5 or 6 part series on sin, which the first one really wasn't that good, where did sin come from, I think is what it's called. Then the second one is like, what is sin? And the rest of them, I thought, I was impressed. And I remember I know I wrote some of the later ones while we were in the hospital with Ephraim, and Ephraim was born. So it's been a little less than a year and a half that I wrote some of those, and I haven't read them since.
They're not too bad.
They're pretty good.
Okay.
And now reading them now through the lens of the fact that I have cancer, it's like, okay, I mean, this makes sense.
Yeah.
So I do highly recommend that you go and read those. There is a lot of good information in there about sin, what sin is, the difference between good and evil, which I guess we didn't even talk about that. There's something else I had on my mind. So there are more things we could talk about. But I do recommend reading those articles, and it'll give you a lot of good information.
Okay.
And you might get a little insight into how my mind works, why I feel the way I do. It is amazing.
All right, that's my timer. So we thank you for joining us. Please leave a comment on this video or go to our contact page. As Mitchell said, it's purefaithliving.com, and that's where you can find those articles as well. And you can send us a message there. And as always, if you like what you hear, then we ask that you share this show with others to help us to spread the good word of Jesus Christ. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you again next time.
Have a blessed day, everybody.